We want to get straight to our top story. Israel is at war. As we go to air, the Middle Eastern country is facing an unprecedented attack from Palestinian militants, with armed terror groups infiltrating by land, air and sea.
Fighting has dramatically escalated overnight, with hundreds killed, thousands injured, and both civilians and soldiers taken hostage across the Gaza Strip.
Leaders from across the world united in condemning the attacks, calling it terrorism in its most despicable form. 9 Europe correspondent Brett McLeod begins our coverage.
Shocking and stunning. This was an unprecedented, coordinated attack. It began at dawn with a volley of thousands of missiles from the Gaza Strip, explosions reaching as far as the capital, Tel Aviv. Hamas militants then launched their ground assault, breaching the border wall with Israel, and from the air using motorised paragliders. With surprising ease, they took over the streets of Israeli towns near Gaza, killing civilians where they stood and taking others hostage, forcing them into vehicles to be taken away, as well breaking into an Israeli military base, dragging a soldier out of a tank before sending it on fire, and capturing other vehicles, while Israelis at a desert rave party fled in horror. Hamas leader Mohammed Deif called on Palestinians to sweep away the enemy. There have been celebrations on the West Bank. We are at war, said Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, vowing to extract a huge price before Israel's jets bombed Gaza, as they've done many times before, but that still didn't prevent the biggest assault on Israel in decades.
And Brett McLeod joins us live. Brett, the death toll is growing by the hour.
Sophie and Alex, good morning. Yes, the latest figures, according to Israeli media, is some 250 people have been killed inside Israel and 232 people inside Gaza, and on both sides about 1,450 to 1,500 people injured. That number is sure to escalate. You're seeing there some of the Israeli assault on the West Bank. Meantime, in Jerusalem, there have been air raid sirens going off in the last few hours in the night time as more of those rockets have been launched from the West Bank, forcing people to stay indoors. A short time ago, one of the world leaders who responded to all this was the US President Joe Biden.
Today, the people of Israel are under attack, orchestrated by a terrorist organization, Hamas. In this moment of tragedy, I want to say to them and to the world and to terrorists everywhere, that the United States stands with Israel.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been meeting with his cabinet. He'll be under pressure to launch a ground assault. But the problem Israel hasn't faced on this scale before is not only the onslaught, but the fact that there are believed to be some 50 Israeli civilians and soldiers currently being held hostage inside the West Bank, which reduces the force that Israel can use in going in. Then there is the other major issue facing the country. How was there such a security failure that this was allowed to happen?